Imaginary Man has joined the chat. Let's see what he has to say. I'll remind him to not violate the TikTok team's terms of service and to tell me how old he is.
57.
I believe you. What do you want to talk about?
So let's start with what you just said, which, if I heard you right, you believe that people that support Trump are evil?
People always focus on that, and what I actually said is that a very small number of them are evil, where they know what's happening is bad. They actually understand the things that I feel like I understand about the whole situation, and they're okay with it. The majority of like everyday Trump voters, just regular MAGA Republicans, are people who have been convinced of the lies that they're being told by Trump and other news media that what he's doing is good for them when it is in fact not. So I don't accuse most Trump supporters of being evil. I think most of them are fools.
Okay, so idiots and evil people. Okay, so let's help me understand which one I fall into.
Okay.
I'd like to think I'm informed about things, which I believe puts me into the evil camp. So let's explore that a little bit.
Okay.
Would you agree that Trump is creating world peace? Yes or no?
No.
So you don't think the world is more peaceful?
He just started another war in the Middle East. No, the world is far less peaceful for Trump being the president. There's literally a new war happening that wouldn't be happening if he wasn't president.
All right. So do you understand that we're at a global maximum for world peace currently?
No, I don't understand that at all. I don't think that you're saying that the world.
So you don't understand the world you live in.
Are you about to suggest that the world cannot be any more peaceful than it currently is?
Well, we've been bumping around at the bottom for a little while now.
No,
it seems to have stalled out a little bit.
Historically, on average, almost
peace.
Everything is getting better. If you average across a lifetime, like there's like bad things that happen within a lifetime, like the occasional world war or pandemic or other great conflict, but like general quality of life indicators, on average, historically have been going up everywhere. It's interesting to look at the places where they're not.
That's exactly my point.
Right.
That's exactly my point.
And you're saying it can't get any better.
No. I stated the fact that for world peace, in terms of the number of people killed per capita in the world due to war, is at a global minimum currently, or global maximum for peace. But it has been stalled for a little while. If you look at the chart, you'll see what I mean.
What chart?
If you charted the number of men killed in war per capita over time.
Yeah, right. We haven't had a world war in a while. It was really bad 80 years ago. It was really bad 40 years before that. What's your point?
Okay. So we're at a global maximum for peace. That was my point.
That's not.
You seem to disagree with that.
Well, right, but that's like saying that the S&P 500 was at a local maximum recently. That's almost always true. But
yes.
Right, and it's true.
Well, no.
It's true.
No, it's not necessarily true that we're at a global maximum for peace. I'm just trying to tell you what the trend line is and see if you're aware of it. I think you're trying to say you are aware of it?
Per capita deaths in combat have gone down, yes.
Okay, good. All right. So, Iran, are you aware of the totality of the cost in terms of dollars and deaths that Iran causes and has caused for the past 40 years?
I'm still just like not understanding how, if you're going to say that we're at a local maximum right now, you wouldn't want to amend your statement to say that we were at a local maximum like 5 weeks ago before Trump started the new war in Iran in which thousands of people have died.
I'm not concerned.
There's also a huge war happening. You're not concerned about 5 years?
No, over 1,000 years, 5 years is nothing.
Okay, yeah. So
it represents the bumps.
World War II happened.
In the line.
World War II happened over the course of about 6 years. So you're going to say that World War II wasn't a big deal?
No, it shows up on the graph.
Okay.
It was a big deal.
Okay, so you're just going to say that it's not a big deal that Trump started the war in Iran. You don't care about all those people dying.
No. Don't put words in my mouth. It's a lesser deal. It represents a smaller bump on the graph.
Then what?
World War II. You just mentioned World War II as an example.
But it's a bigger bump on the graph than there would be if we had elected Kamala Harris, who wouldn't have started the war.
So let's delve into that. So, are you familiar with the total cost of Iran over the past 40 years in terms of dead people and the direct cost in terms of monetary value to the U.S.?
No, not off the top of my head. But if you give me that number, I am going to ask
Okay,
for a source.
billions.
It is
billions and billions of dollars.
It is billions.
And,
we have spent billions of dollars.
Lots of life.
Yes, and we have spent billions of dollars and lost lots of lives in the last month of the war. So I don't even need to fact check you. Like, yeah, obviously it's billions of dollars.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if inflation
regime changing.
I wouldn't be surprised if inflation adjusted over the last 40 years. It's an enormous number, like $1 trillion or something. Yeah, it's a lot.
It's not that bad. I think it's in the 80 billion, but the specific amount I don't care about.
We've spent tens of billions of dollars in the last month on the war, though.
Yes, that's correct.
So if you think that the number is $80 billion, then this war needs to be over soon for the war to not be worse than whatever continued involvement that we've had for the last few decades.
Well, so peace is an independent measure from dollars.
I don't know what you're arguing, dude. What is your
point? So world peace is created by man. Trump is creating a little bit more world peace. Not much.
He started a war. What are you talking about? Like, you need to explain. What do you mean? He started a war. He started a war that he said he wasn't going to start. Like, what are you talking about? How is that creating world peace? World peace. Please explain.
The same way that World War II created peace.
Yeah, but we
ushered in.
We didn't start World War II.
An era of more peace.
Yeah, but it would have been better if it didn't happen.
I know, but men are men.
Right, like
right? Iran exists.
No. Actually, we can't control that. Let's extend the parallel. Because like us getting involved in Iran is not a good comparison to us getting involved in World War II because of Japan bombing Pearl Harbor. Us getting involved in Venezuela and Iran are more comparable to Trump's invasion of Poland in 1939, dude. Like we're the ones starting it this time, so maybe the rest of the world's going to have to team up and take care of us.
Your comparison of Iran to Poland is not a valid comparison.
We haven't put boots on the ground yet, but like it seems like we're preparing to.
No, but Poland was never like Iran.
Yeah,
was Poland ever
different color people who live there? But
seat for world terrorism? Yes or no?
No, dude. But again, these excuses.
See, that's my point.
Right, but you haven't demonstrated that Trump is making the world more peaceful.
Do you know what global terrorism is? Do you understand that that's a bad idea?
Yeah, dude, you're talking to a 9/11
And if
victim.
you can press a button and wipe it all out, that's a good thing.
Yeah, my dad went to work and they flew planes into his building. Very bad. You're not going to like change my core beliefs about if terrorism is bad. It's bad. But like it doesn't mean that
So by getting rid of the regime in Iran, we could make them a peaceful country. For example, like South Korea and Japan.
Work. We have learned.
Is South Korea and Japan better?
Okay, I would say that if we're going to talk about the United States' involvement in Korea, we have to talk about the Korea that existed when we got involved, which was the whole Korea. And on average, no, Korea is not doing so hot because half of it is fucking North Korea, dude. But again, we don't even have to go that far back. We fought a war about 9/11, and it was bad. It is widely agreed that it was not for the net benefit of the planet or for everyday Americans the way that we handled getting attacked on 9/11. And you're trying to say that we should do that in Iran, and there's no evidence that it works out well for literally anybody. Doesn't work out well for the Iranian people. Doesn't work out well for us. We learned that in Afghanistan. We learned that in Iraq. We learned that in Korea, which is the example you just brought up.
Afghanistan are different. I don't draw a comparison and a parallel to them. Iran is a bit different.
You don't see the parallel between Trump starting a war in Iran to protect us from terrorism and Bush starting a war in Iraq and Afghanistan to protect us from terrorism.
There are large differences between the two.
Okay, you don't see the parallel when Bush's excuse for going into those wars was that they might have weapons of mass destruction, and then that's a huge concern to the American people. And Trump's excuse is that they might be about to make weapons of mass destruction, even though he said we disabled their ability to do that a few months ago when we bombed them.
That was more of an excuse to go into Iraq. I think you would agree, yes?
No, I think it was also an excuse this time because Trump himself said that we had destroyed their ability to make nuclear weapons just a few months ago. So he was either lying then or he's lying now. Either way, it must be an excuse.
No. So the point about Iran is we did not affect regime change in prior action, correct?
In prior action?
Yeah, when we had bombed the nuclear facilities, right, and had done some damage, whether it's 1% damage or 80% damage.
Yeah,
I don't know.
We can't know for sure, but Trump's administration claims that we had completely destroyed.
Now, some people claim it might have been like 3% damage and they got everything out and it didn't really matter.
Again, Trump said then that they were disabled and is saying now that they're not. So whether he was lying then or lying now, one of them has to be the case.
You're getting hooked up on Trump's words.
Yes, one should get hooked because he's the fucking president, dude. What's wrong with you?
You don't actually believe everything he says, do you?
You should be able to believe what the president says.
But you're intelligent. You do not, correct?
Of course I don't believe what Trump says.
Good.
That's
I don't either.
Problem, though. It's bad.
He lies. Get over it.
No, I'm not going to get over the president being a liar. The president shouldn't be a liar. I'm furious. I'm furious at Joe Biden for running again because he said he wasn't going to, because that was an important campaign promise for his first campaign, and I'm furious.
He never promised you that because you didn't vote for him.
That's not how. What? What do you mean?
He didn't promise that to you. You don't get to be butthurt over it because you didn't vote for him.
You're saying that I don't get to be butthurt about what Trump does because I didn't vote for him?
His campaign promise was not to you.
A campaign promise is to everybody.
Pretending that you're a Republican and that you're butthurt over a broken promise during his campaign is, I don't know, not disingenuous.
I don't know if you misheard me.
It's silly.
I don't know if you misheard me, but I was actually just trying to throw you the bone of giving an example of something Joe Biden did that I was really upset about. One of the lies that he told. But like, what do you? I don't understand what your argument is. You're saying that I, as an American, can't be upset about a president not keeping their campaign promises if I didn't vote for them?
Yeah, because it's not a promise to you. It was a promise to the people that voted for him.
This gets to the problem with like Republican discourse about what it means to be an elected official. The president is supposed to serve everybody, not just the people who voted for them. They're supposed to serve all American people.
You don't understand that presidents often do things that benefit a section of society?
Well, right, yeah. They do the sorts of things that they want their like immediate constituents, the people who voted for them. That's how they gain their popularity. But we should elect presidents.
You understand then how U.S. politics works. Okay, good.
No, right. But like Joe Biden, for example, wanted quality of life to be better for people who voted for Trump.
Okay.
Trump isn't doing that. He's not saying I want life to be better for Democrats. He's specifically punishing Democrats. He's specifically punishing Democratic leadership. He's specifically punishing blue states for things that they're doing by trying to obey the Constitution while he makes illegal executive orders. Just yesterday, he said he made an executive order that's flagrantly unconstitutional and said that he'd be punishing states that don't obey it by withholding funding. And that's generally going to be affecting blue states. So like, why are you okay with a president who only wants to serve his voters and people who support him, which right now is a minority of people in America?
No, it's just an observation of what presidents do.
I'm asking why you're okay with it. I wouldn't be okay with my president behaving in that way. Biden didn't behave in that way.
It's just an observation of the world. This is how it's always been.
I'm asking you about your thoughts and feelings. You're here to talk on my show about how you feel about all of this.
I'm fine with that.
That's fucked up, dude.
It is history.
That's un-American. You shouldn't be okay with the leadership only supporting their voters. That's terrible.
Only supporting? I don't know about the word only, but they benefit one group more than other groups. For example, Biden, I think, and Obama, I think, supported gay and lesbian causes.
Yes, they did.
Maybe more than Trump.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
And Trump maybe less so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
It's just an observation of how the world is.
Okay.
I'm not going to get twisted about it because I don't think it's ever going to change. Right?
Yeah, but you're just like refusing to answer the main problem, which is that like if we take all the names out of it, I think that we should try to elect leadership who want to support a better quality of life for all people in the country. For everybody.
So world peace benefits all people, including people not even in the country.
Yeah, but you have not demonstrated that Trump is supporting world peace. He calls himself the peace president, literally while starting wars that he promised not to start.
By ending the global sponsor of terrorism worldwide, Iran,
There are 90
that
million.
benefits
There are
all
90. There are 90 million Iranians who are mad at us for bombing their country. Do you think that that's not going to cause more terror in the decades to come?
The goal is for it to be lessened.
Yeah, and we have
Whether or
learned
not
from
it
history,
will be achieved
you haven't
will
demonstrated.
be discovered in the next 100 years.
Right, and
I'll be dead before then.
Yeah, I don't
But the
like.
goal
I don't like the "I'll be dead before then" comments because it
is
suggests
to
to me that you
end
are selfish and you don't care about the
and
world
trim
that
it
you're gonna
down.
leave behind. But you have no argument for the fact that what he's doing is going to create world peace when we have seen.
You have no argument it won't.
Yes, I do. I used Bush as an example. You brought up North Korea, and even North Korea is an example of a situation where we got involved, and we didn't leave it all that great. There is still North Korea to worry about. South Korea is doing pretty good, but we have like military bases there to like help them if the war starts. It's like no, it's not a good
Right.
example either.
So-
There's 20 million North Koreans who live under a dictatorship.
Trump, what if I said Trump would like to do with Iran what the U.S. has done with South Korea, Japan?
That's a terrible example because what happened with North Korea or with Korea is that we cut the country in two, and now the north half of it is the worst dictatorship on the planet and a nuclear threat.
Yeah, but that's their choice,
If we did
right?
that, no. If we did with Iran, I'm going to follow your argument. If we did with Iran what we did with North Korea, we would cut the country in half, and then the half of it that didn't agree with us would become a nuclear threat and one of the worst dictatorships on the planet. That would be
I didn't
bad.
say North Korea, South Korea.
You can't just say what we did with Korea and then only look at South Korea, dude. North Korea and South Korea split at the conclusion of the Korean War in 1953, and we had a hand in that. So you can't just ignore, don't pay any attention to these 20 million starving people over here. No, dude, we're going to talk about Korea as a whole, which is what Korea was when we were involved, when we got involved.
So with a little luck, Trump will go solve the North Korean issue. I don't know if he'll have time. I don't know if he'll be successful.
I mean, he
But
did a
that's
little bit of
for
that
another
during his,
day.
he did a little bit of that during his first term, and he tried to do it diplomatically, which is a better way to approach these situations in the 21st century than just bombing them to shit. We have
Yeah, but
learned
they're not noticeably better.
We have learned time and time again that you cannot bomb a country of brown people into being a democracy. Why do you think otherwise is true?
Check Germany, check Japan. They're much better now than
Those
they
were
were
large
in
global
the past.
conflicts that we joined pretty late in the game. And yes,
So?
World War II was bad. Do you think that Iran was about to start World War II or World War III?
Their ability to start one now is lessened. But no,
I'm getting
they
really,
were not ever
I'm getting
going
really
to
close to
because
moving
they're
on
not a big
because
enough power.
I'm getting really close to moving on to another caller because we are talking in circles. You haven't defended any of these points. You say that they're not now. So I'll ask you this again: was Trump lying a few months ago when he said that we disabled their nuclear capability, or was he lying recently when he used their nuclear capability as an excuse for starting the war?
He made inroads into degrading their
No.
capacity.
It's an A
and
or
their
B question.
ability.
One of those things is true. He either lied when he said that we destroyed their nuclear capability, or he lied when he said that they still have nuclear capability that we weren't able to destroy, and that's why we need to start the war. Because he's not saying that something different happened. He's not claiming that they developed more nuclear capacity in the last few months. Suggesting so would be absurd because it takes way longer than that to develop those sorts of things when the literal buildings where you do that work gets bombed. So I will ask you one more time, and if you refuse to answer, I am going to kick you and move on because you're refusing to answer all of my lines of reasoning. So I will ask you. I'm going to ask you again.
Move on.
I'm going to ask you again. I'm going to give you a chance to answer. Was Trump lying when he said that we destroyed their nuclear capability a few months ago when we bombed them, or recently when he used their nuclear capability as an excuse to start the war?
No, you should move on.
You're not going to answer the question?
Well, it won't be productive. It's just a waste of time from your perspective.
If you answer the question, we can keep talking. I'm just using the threat of kicking you as like to force you into actually answering my question.
So I'm not hung up on his words.
Okay. Do you think
Trump's currently creating peace in Iran, regardless of his words.
He's bombing Iran, you moron. Well, like seriously, how can you think that? Once again, was he lying then, or is he lying now? Was he lying when he said that we destroyed their nuclear capability, or is he lying now when he's using their nuclear capability as an excuse to start the war? Which is it, or get kicked?
Kick me.
You're not going to answer?
So I don't know to what degree he degraded them. So I don't know if it was a lie. I do not have the intelligence. I'm not privy to the total assessment of how much we destroyed their facilities, and or how much of the weapons grade uranium they were able to get out of the facility before it was hit.
Okay.
Some people think they had complete knowledge and got all of the material out.
Do you recognize that he must have been lying then or now? That there's a dichotomy there, because it can't be. He can't have been telling the truth then and be telling the truth now. You recognize there's a conflict there.
Capabilities exist over time.
Right.
Even if he destroyed 80% of their capability before,
I already answered this, dude.
Doesn't mean
it's been months. It's
that
not
a regime change wouldn't be beneficial in terms of ensuring that they would never possess a nuclear weapon for the next 100 years.
Okay, yeah, you're moving the goalposts about the argument because I'm trying to get you to address the fact that Trump either lied when he said that he obliterated, that was the word, that we obliterated their nuclear capability. So either
let's assume that's a lie.
Okay, so
I don't know it to be a lie, but Trump had intelligence.
If it isn't a lie,
and it could have been contrary to his intelligence.
This is what I'm trying to get you to understand. If it wasn't a lie, that would mean that when he said that we're invading them because of their nuclear capability, then that was a lie. So one of the two things has to be a lie, and that seems to be what you're not understanding.
No, I understand your point. I'm not trying to contradict you.
But why are you okay with the president lying about their involvement in wars that they're starting?
Because I don't believe words matter as much as you do.
Okay, but even if we just look at
I'm
Trump's
more into
actions,
action.
Right, but his actions are still bad. I'm going to move on. I've got another caller waiting. Feel free to call in another time if you want to talk about something else, but you have a lovely day.
Go ahead and drop me.
Yeah, I just talking in circles. My goodness. All right, let's get Texas breaks up here before